Hi, welcome to my new series in which I'm going to teach you how to get better at speaking English and also thinking in English. This is Susan Broder from Speak Languages and Travel the World, here to help you improve your English with minimum effort and maximum benefit. In each lesson, I'm going to give you 3 strategies for you to improve your speaking skills and thinking in English. So let's get started. Strategy number 1. Strategy number 1 is to improve your fluency. How does it work? You take a sentence that is maybe a little bit longer, a little bit more complicated. You can find it in a book, but even better would be to find it on a film clip that you enjoy, or from voscreen.com, where you can get sentences spoken and you can learn to repeat them after you've read the subtitle. You take a sentence, which is fairly long, you listen to how it's been pronounced, and then you start by reading the last word of the sentence. Let's take the following sentence as an example. You're going to be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. So we start from the last word, together. Yourself together. Pull yourself together. Don't pull yourself together. If you don't pull yourself together. Unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. Be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. Going to be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. You're going to be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. You're going to be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. Try repeating. You're going to be unemployed if you don't pull yourself together. Okay, so this is the technique. I call it the backwards technique because you start from the last word and you gradually build on. Now, if you try and say the sentence before doing this exercise, you may get your tongue twisted like in a tongue twister. In fact, tongue twisters are very good for practicing fluency. So you start from the very end, you gradually build on, and you'll be amazed at how easily and how well you can say it once you've done this backward method. So the backwards method is excellent for improving your fluency. Do at least a sentence or 2 a day. Find them in a book, find them on VoScreen, find them in your favorite TV series, wherever, it doesn't matter. It is better if you can hear how it's pronounced naturally before you do it, so you can imitate the way they've said it. But the most important thing is that you learn to do it by starting backwards, and you'll be incredibly surprised at how well it works. I've tried it with adults, I've tried it with children. It's amazing. So strategy number 1 is to say sentences starting from the back. Strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 is quite easy. It's listen and repeat. So I usually recommend taking audiobooks, but again, as I said, you can use VoScreen, which is absolutely excellent. I'll put the link in the description below. It gives you 5 seconds of film clip, and with this, you have to see if you can repeat what they've said with exactly the same flow, and that's what's important. So you listen and you repeat, but you don't repeat flat. You can also click the subtitles to see what you're saying, but you have to repeat it exactly with the same intonation. For example, you could say, are you going to take up a new hobby when you retire? Now that means you've been reading it and you sound a bit choppy, and that's not how a native would say it. A native would say, are you going to take up a new hobby when you retire? Can you hear? There's a lot more music. Are you going? So are you going? It goes up and down. Are you going to take up a new hobby when you retire? Now, I've exaggerated it a little bit, but that's what I mean. There's a certain flow to it, which if you listen to the original, you can copy the original flow and the ups and downs of the language, the music of the language. So listen to a native and try and repeat it. And if it gets too complicated, try the backward method first and then try and repeat it with the same system. So that is strategy number 2. Strategy number 3 is to take a sentence that you find particularly difficult, that you decided you want to learn, and say it, transforming it as often as you can so that it becomes natural to you. For example, I won't buy a house unless I get married. I won't take an umbrella unless I see it's going to rain. I won't have an ice cream unless you have one too. So you have to take the structure and transform it as many times as you can. The more you do it, the more it becomes natural. And you'll see that if you do that, I would usually do it at least 5 different sentences per structure that you want to practice, but also repeating it over time. I mean, you do it today, then maybe you can invent some more tomorrow, maybe then practice different structures, and the week after go back to it, so that if you do it many, many times, it just becomes natural. So let's summarize these 3 strategies. Strategy number 1 is backwards speaking, so that you take the end of the sentence and then you work your way to the front until you improve your fluency. Strategy number 2 is to listen and repeat, but listen and repeat using the same music as a native speaker would. And strategy number 3 is to take a sentence where there's a structure you'd like to learn. I gave the example with unless, and transform it many, many times so that it just becomes second nature. So these are the 3 strategies for our first lesson. I hope you implement them. I do recommend you write some sentences down below in the comments of certain transformations you've been practicing, just so that we can see and maybe help each other. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, hit the notification bell, because that way you'll be notified of any new videos I produce. And I look forward to seeing you in my next lesson with the next 3 strategies. That's all for today. Bye!